Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to Wildlight Arts. I am going to go over my 100-day project. A little bit late. I went from the 100-day project right into iCAD, and I've kind of lapsed on creating videos and recording um, my work aside from posting it on Instagram. So I wanted to play a little catch up and talk a little bit about my experience with the 100-day project and why I think it's so valuable as a process to engage in something creative for 100 days or any kind of practice really that helps to center your mind and helps to focus you and put you in some kind of a flow state because it has incredible benefits for mental health and emotional health. It helps to create a nice psychological balance, a nice generation of healthy chemistry in the brain and in the body, because the mind and the body are one and cannot be separated. My background is in holistic health and mind body wellness. So it's it's really been an interesting subject to me to see how potent an art practice can be in terms of overall health and wellness and in terms of supporting overall health and wellness. So I started out with my goal for the 100-day project is to make art on something, just to keep it really simple. And I often use really simple supplies. I use index cards a lot. I use different kinds of markers, Sharpies, gel pens, watercolor, just craft paint, and acrylic paint markers. I like to use those a lot also. So I will start with the first binder. I had two binders by the end of it, and I've also added some stuff that I've made following the 100-day project to my binders. So just because I've had the space and it seems like a great way to store art so it stays protected. So yeah, here we go. So this is my flip through. I'd like to put some kind of nice lettering in here and fill this space a little bit. There's always a work in progress. I always create art that I can go back and add to um, or work on. Sometimes I leave things incomplete if I just feel like I'm not sure where to go next with them. So that's what I did with this page. It gives me something. It's kind of nice to have something when a blank page feels intimidating to go and start from a page with marks on it or design. And a lot of these you can see the process in progress that I made on my Instagram account, which is wild.light.arts on Instagram. These I really like to do as a form of meditative art, of just throwing some paint down on the background and adding lots of like dots and um, sometimes I'll do different patterns other than dots, but it's just like very kind of like centering and grounding. This was from an art therapy class led by Leah Guzman. Um, and this was like, actually, it was led by somebody else, but it was through Leah Guzman and her art therapy program, which I'm forgetting the name of right now. But we took a bunch of collage papers and ripped them up and made lotus flowers with them or water lilies. And I just started getting into doing landscapes. They're kind of new for me. Again, more dot patterns with some little flowers, butterfly. I'm very inspired by nature and the natural world in my work. I also like to do just like wild patterns. kind of, this is more like intuitive art, just another grounding and centering practice. Sometimes it's just real simple, like these flowers, just like a quick drawing if I don't have much time, but I still want to center myself or create space for creative time or using my creative energy well. These kind of remind me, I have this series that kind of reminds me of like art on cave walls, like different symbols and patterns. This must have been around St. Patrick's Day. This is from a dream. Sometimes I like to illustrate my dreams or symbols that come out of dreams. Flowers, and this took a while, all these triangles in the background, but it's kind of grounding and centering too. I like trying out different patterns. It's pretty fun. Here, same kind of thing with patterns in the background and flowers in the foreground. Some more landscape work. These were fun fluorescent watercolors. I love using neons, clearly. Fluorescent colors, I use a lot of them. I like the contrast here with the neons and the black, more muted purples. I often like to use different patterns and organic shapes in my work and kind of like feel the flow of a pen. I use a lot of spirals. Spirals come out all the time. This is like another, I don't know, like symbolic cave wall. Different shapes. This reminds me kind of a shell and also the face of an owl. There's a little bit of both in there. It's a little landscape. Somebody pointed out that this looks like a slice of cake, which I hadn't noticed, but I actually really kind of like that about it. It's like cake landscape. These are like Zen tangles or Zen doodles I just like to do. Same here, more square patterns building on top of each other. This is where my mind just kind of goes more free. I have the certain symbols repeat in my work a lot, like hearts with wings end up showing up in like kind of like DNA-esque patterns. Lots of little flowers. My, how hearts fly. This is like little mystical creatures. I often have also like kind of characters that come out. I really like to draw cute, like little adorable, cute, mystical creatures. Aliens come out in my work a lot. Pony, little good luck pony. I grew up in the Gen X generation, so My Little Pony was a big thing. This doesn't really look like My Little Pony, but anyway, who doesn't like a pink pony? I like to draw fairies as well, another mystical creature. This is just with Sharpie. I often like to just draw in black and white in Sharpie. Trying to get this into the frame well. I think my video camera moved a little bit. It's a little touchy. Alright, so that's a little better. I like this little lady, little fairy lady. Some more Sharpie drawings, illustrations. So, a little bit fractal-like. I'm always inspired by the natural world and how things grow, and this is kind of like the Fibonacci sequence, how things grow in fractal forms. It's just kind of a Zen doodle. More Zen doodling. I really love Zen doodling. It's very relaxing for me. Kind of different shapes. It's like a spider in here somewhere in the center. Moon phases come out in my work a lot. Hands. It's kind of like healing hand symbols and eyes often. It's always interesting to me to see what symbols come out in people's work. I often have stars come out a lot. I've been having a lot of birds come into my work recently too. Burbs. Alright, and more eyes. It's more like a mandala shape. And the seeing tree. It's kind of interesting, came out of, this was after my 100-day project, but I just kind of like the way that it tied in with the colors in this mandala. But this came out of my index card a day practice, and it was like two different cards on two different index cards with illustrations that I just combined together to make a larger piece of art. I like to do that frequently. This is one of my favorites. This is a recent drawing. So I guess it's the 100-day project and beyond in this binder. So this is hummingbirds, and I love hummingbirds. And I love the neons in this. I find it so fun. I love the Letrasat neon. They're like water-based markers. And I got the idea for this bright image from first drawing this in the 100-day project. So I just added it after to kind of like reflect how doing the 100-day project kind of gives me ideas to evolve on. So this is one idea that kind of manifested in a different way, but with similar symbology, similar kinds of shapes. So I like that. I like looking at people's sketchbooks and art journals, and my own sketchbooks and art journals, and seeing how things evolve. I love working on just sheets of cardstock or sheets of watercolor paper. I like the ease of it, like just using that in a clipboard. I don't always use bound journals. I mean, I like them too, but this is kind of a manifestation piece that I was working on about finding home, because I really want to find a nice home of my own. So this was like, and it's just thinking about the housing crisis. So it says homes for all. It's just a nice design. I think this was with watercolor crayons and some more Sharpie, just line drawings and doodles and tangle kind of work. Flip this around. These are more Sharpie drawing illustrations. Kind of fun stuff. See if I can get this more in the frame here. These are just fun free drawings. Like, I think I started, I can't remember if I started these on index cards and then went to cardstock. I think that might have been the way they manifested. But I would like, these are kind of sketches for future work I'd like to do on canvas. So I often do that. Like I'm, you know, just putting my ideas down quickly sometimes helps me in the long run to create more detailed work later. So, keep hitting my camera. Let's see if we can focus a little bit more on the images here. I'm still like pretty much a novice with the tech equipment and the filming, the editing, and the camera work, so we'll see how this comes out. Sorry, it's a little... Ooh, there's Miss Tilly Lily in the background. She's the Wildlight Arts Maltese mascot. 7 pounds of loving wonder. These kind of remind me of mushrooms here. I don't know, I like these free-form shapes a lot. Some flowers. So I guess I just really went to town with the Sharpie and some cardstock towards the end. More Sharpie. And then I took you can kind of see how I'll evolve from just a sketch with a Sharpie to, I think this was some acrylic art markers, or it might have just been, no, I think these are just regular markers, not paint markers. Here's a bird of prey, praying, different kind of prey, P-R-A-Y. So anyway, that is my first binder for the 100-day project. Thank you so much for coming on this flip through journey with me. I'd love to hear what you think of it in the comments, and I'd love to hear what your experience is with the 100-day project too in the comments, and what you loved most about it. What was most transformational for you? For me, it was just, I guess the last thought is that I noticed when I was creating every day, it just made me want to create more. And I've talked about this before in some other videos, but it's kind of like when it rains and the water levels rise in a river, and then the river flows more, the water flows more, the currents increase, the speed of the current increases, the water flow of the current increases. And so it's kind of like that for me doing the 100-day project. It's like once I got going, then the flow of my creativity just was like opening, like releasing a dam, I guess. But in a good way, and well, it's very good for the environment to release a lot of the dams after living in the Northwest. I'm real familiar with that, but yeah, just allowing yourself to, that's a whole nother topic for another time, allowing yourself to be creative in whatever way feels good to you just encourages more creativity. And the more creative I am, and the more I just kind of let my mind go and let my hands kind of explore the page, and um, just let that take over, the more I become engaged in a flow state, and the more the flow state feels a lot like meditation and becomes like a meditative practice. So I often think of art as a spiritual practice as well, much like meditation or mindfulness, because it creates a similar experience for me. And I notice my breath deepens and my shoulders drop, and I just become like more centered and present through it. So I'd love to hear what your experiences are and how art is therapeutic for you, and what your experience, if you've done the 100-day project, has been like, and the important takeaways that you have. Please write down in the comments what that's been like for you. And yeah, I'm gonna do a second part, another video with this binder, the second binder, and this wise owl on the front, and just split them up that way. So thanks again. Thanks so much for stopping by Wildlight Arts, and I look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Oh, and let me know too if you have a YouTube channel and I can follow your channel. We can follow each other and stay connected and make art connections, and connections of art as a practice, art as healing, and share with one another what we create. All right, have a beautiful day. Bye.